Hello, good morning. I scheduled my first live today and I'm here. I scheduled it for 10:30. I want to remain accountable more so for myself. I'm making these calls regardless. So if you're new here, welcome. This is raw, unfiltered. You get what you get. I'm a real estate agent that built a business strictly on cold calling. Started my business calling for sale by owners. I then braved the waters and started calling expireds. Loved expireds so much that I stopped calling FSBOs and probably did about a year and a half or so of just expired listings. And now I'm in a different place in my business and I want more time. I don't want to be restricted to getting on the phones at 8 a.m., which is what you have to do for FSBOs and expireds if you want the best pickup rate. So I do a lot more circle prospecting where I'm just calling neighbors and where I want to work. So I choose a community, I choose a price point, and I go to town and I just call homeowners. So most of the circle prospecting is about 6 to 18 months on average out. So it's unlikely that someone's like, hey, yeah, come over. I'm about to sell my house in 2 months. Does it happen? Yes, but it's not common. So most of the conversations you're going to be hearing are a big old no, which is totally fine because I'm looking for those that are actually interested. I've made the mistake of filling my CRM with not really strong leads. So I try really hard to not do that. Excuse me. So I just inhaled my breakfast. Okay, let's get started. It's summertime, so not for nothing. I don't want to be on the phones forever. I still want to enjoy my time. And it's summer break. My kids are in camp. So I want the opportunity to pick them up early, go swimming, do all the things. So the reality is with these cold calls is I'm not trying to be on here all day long. In the last 2 weeks or so, I've averaged an hour of cold calling per day. I used to do anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours, depending on the day, time of year, what's going on in my business. Ideally, for me, I would like to stick to a 2 hour, but that doesn't always work. It just depends on the season that we're in. 2 hours a day is reasonable for me because I take Fridays off in the summer. We do what you call a family fun day, where we pick one day out of the week all summer long where my kids are home, we're home, and we just do stuff locally. We take a trip somewhere. Depends on what that really looks like. So I'm going to get my mojo started. I am located in Philly. I'm just outside of Philly. So we cover the Philly suburbs and we're licensed in New Jersey as well. New Jersey is a whole other animal. And that's mostly what my husband kind of takes over. So we work together and he takes over Jersey stuff. So I'm going to get back into my list here. I'm calling the same list that I've been calling because it's a 24,000 contact list and I still have over 9,000 to get through. So let's get after it. All right, entire list. I'm not changing my numbers because they've been pretty solid. Mojo offer. I'm on a 3-line dialer, so I rotate through 3 different numbers, and Mojo automatically switches them out, which I recommend. You don't want to keep the same number because then you're kind of pausing your dialer and then you're going back into it. So this just makes the most sense. All right, let's see. I have my Bright open on my other screen so that I can look things up if I need to, look at neighborhoods if I need to. So this is where we're at. Okay, I'm going to put this on speaker. I'm probably going to do about an hour here live streaming. And then I will break.
I'm trying. Please enter your PIN number.
I got my mocktail this morning. Again, this is probably going to be my summer drink. So I had leftover creatine and electrolytes, and I just put some ice and some sparkling water in here. I like that bubbly brand. So I have a raspberry.
Goodbye.
Oh, dang, I was too slow here. I put the raspberry sparkling water in here. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I do not put myself together for calling.
Your PIN number can be
Mostly
found in the
because
dialing box
prospects
on your
aren't
screen.
watching this. It's just you guys. And I want to stay true to what this channel really is, which is raw, unfiltered.
You are now logged into the Mojo Dollar.
You get what you
Press
get.
the start button on your screen to begin
But
calling.
obviously when I'm going out on professional appointments, I look much different. Well, yesterday's was a little bit better. Yesterday's I added an Olipop, which are like my favorite sodas. Okay. Let's see what we got. I already put my notes together here so I can keep track. I got my contact lead appointment. At the end of my session, I go into my spreadsheet tracker where I plug everything in, and I kind of know for myself where I'm at with things. Because if you're not really tracking, like, how do you know how many hours you should be prospecting or how many people you should be talking to hit a specific goal? So you definitely want to track. Okay. In the meantime, I have a settlement today, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but we don't go to settlements if we are representing a seller unless they attend settlement, which is 5% of the time. So most of the time, I'm sure if you're a realtor closing deals, you know that most of the time sellers are really just signing their deed packet ahead of time. And why would I go there if I'm not even meeting my client there? I think a lot of realtors would be like,
it's a voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
I think a lot of realtors would be like, well, how do you get paid? Well, they just send my brokerage the check and then I get paid. So I don't need to see that money in my, and I'm very grateful for this, but I don't need to see the money in my, hi, Sharon.
Sorry, I'm unavailable to take your call, please.
I don't need to see the money in my account the day and the moment that I settle.
Leave a message and I'll call you back.
So if it comes, a couple days later, a week later, that's all good. But I end up saving over 2 hours of my own time that I could be prospecting, or I could be with my family, or just taking a break.
Has been forwarded to voicemail. The person.
So I'm not hung up on going to settlements. If I'm representing a buyer, yes, I go to settlements, but we don't work with a lot of buyers in general. So much so that we just don't have the capacity to run buyers. Which means this probably went out. Okay, we're back. All right, let me restart this. Yes. Start power. Okay.
This is Bob Meyer. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible.
I gotta hang up with all this and start over. Hopefully it's not going to recall back all these same people.
Please enter your PIN number. You are now logged into the Mojo Dollar. Please press the start button on your screen to begin calling.
Okay. I did some follow-ups yesterday when I was not live streaming. Didn't have many pickups, so left voicemails, text messages. So I'm curious to see who is calling me back today. Hello? Wendy?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I've got the wrong number. This is Ariella. I wasn't sure if you could help me out or not. I'm just a realtor. And before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you just a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll keep it really brief. I know I'm calling you out of the blue here, and I'm sure this is a long shot, but the home over here, or any future plans on considering a move, only if it made sense. Were there?
No, not in the next probably 10-year horizon.
I don't blame
It's
you.
a hot it's a hot market over here, though.
It sure is. So I live locally, and I know that, and hence the reason for my call. There's just not a ton of inventory, but I can certainly understand why you wouldn't even want to go through the chaos of a move. So I
No,
totally.
we're good. And honestly, I don't know anybody. I'm on the board of the HOA. I don't know anybody that's really interested in selling right now.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I totally respect that, and I appreciate you taking my call. Okay.
No problem. Have a great
Alrighty.
day.
You as well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So super nice. He was actually really nice. Most of the time when I call communities that are in an HOA community and there's like a president or the head of board of the HOA, normally they're really nasty because they're like, you shouldn't be calling. Um, so you never know what you're going to get, but this guy was actually really nice.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
So the lady that I called yesterday that told me to call her back because she was potentially thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months. I was never able to get a hold of her. So I'm definitely going to try her today. This is the one where like the husband was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm working. You got to ask my wife. She's in charge of that. Which tells me that like husband maybe is a little disconnected. He's working a lot and wife is just kind of running the show there. So I will definitely be giving her a call today. But this is the same neighborhood I'm calling. They range anywhere between like 800,000 on the lower end up to like I've seen them go up to like 1.3. And it's probably about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes from my house. So it's a newer community. It was built in 2020. So people that live there only really live there for 5 years. But again, if you know me and you know my style, there's no rhyme or reason. People move because they have to move, not necessarily just the length that they've spent in the property. Because most of the time, people are like, yeah, I'm only going to live here for 5 years, and 5 years turns into 10 years, and 10 years turns into 12 years. So people say whatever. Or sometimes 5 years turns into 2 years because they needed a job relocation or their family grew quicker than they thought. So you just never know. And at the end of the day, it's just a numbers game. That's all it is. A lot of people don't like to hear that because they think that there's something like much more sexy about it, but it's not. It's consistent calling and it's a numbers game.
Continue.
And it is follow-up. There is a fly in here and it's driving me nuts.
Forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
was just looking in my follow-up boss, looking at like who I'm due to follow up with. If you know me, and most realtors actually, I think their least favorite thing to do is follow up with their follow-ups, which is
Has been forwarded to voicemail. The
which
person
is so counterintuitive because you've already done the work to capture these leads. I think what ends up happening is sometimes
I'm sorry, Mr. Call. Please leave me a message and
I think sometimes there's
reach the cell phone Susan Rader. Please leave a message after.
I think sometimes the leads are just stuffed into the CRM unintentionally with no real strategy behind it. I'm looking at one and she sounded super motivated when I talked to her back in, what was this, March? Hello? Dan?
Hello,
Hi, Dan.
speaking.
Oh, Dan, this is Ariella. And listen, I'm calling you way out of the blue, so I don't know if you're going to be upset with me. I'm just a realtor, but before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you just a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure, what's up? What do you got?
Thanks. I'll keep it really brief. And listen, I figured this might be a long shot, but if there were any future plans on considering a move if it made sense. Were there?
I mean, look, everything's possible. I enjoy building the house. I would certainly consider doing it again. I think the struggle we've had transparently is even if I did phenomenally well in selling my home, where am I going with going from a 2.8% rate to 6? And the cost of, I built with the same guy who built the house. He's amazing, but I couldn't replicate what I have with him, even close, for anything we could really afford. So look, if you had a buyer that was like, that is the house, we love it and we want to pay through the nose for it, sure, certainly would be something I'd possibly consider. They would just likely have to be very flexible with, when we would move, right? Because we have a family and 2 kids in school. Does that make sense?
That makes all the sense in the world. And as I hear you talking, I would almost ask why even go through that trouble? Because it doesn't sound like selling the house is going to be problematic, but it sounds like it might cost you even more to consider a move. So why even, and talk about full transparency. I wasn't calling you because I have a buyer lined up. I think a lot of realtors are really good at telling homeowners what they want to hear just to later pivot their plan. I'm just calling because there's not a ton of inventory here in Doylestown. I live in Warrington. I sell in the area. So I know that there are buyers still looking to get into our school district in our area. And I just didn't know if anyone could make sense of even considering a move in the future. But
yeah, the only way it would make sense is, yes, it would be more expensive, is if what I built in the next home was that much above and beyond what I have now. So for example, that I find a lot with Keith, who built our house, it maybe costs me $500,000 more, but that $500,000 more goes into I'm making this up, a 2-car detached garage that has an in-law suite for my mother all involved, and that makes sense. But so far it hasn't. And I think the other piece is just when I built the house, I think my wife was pregnant, but we didn't have kids yet. We moved in before. It's a huge undertaking. So that's a big process too. My gut says that I'm there for the next 12 years. And once my kids are out of school, then we can do what we want, and we probably do sell and we can build again. But that is the short story of where we are. What I would say for any realtor, if you're interested and you want to appraise our place, I'm always interested to know what the market says and what it's worth. I have a pretty good idea because I'm always looking at what pops up for sale, but I don't want to work on your plate, but if you're happy to appraise it, I'm always interested in hearing that. But that's it. That's the story.
yeah, no. I appreciate that. And I just moved a couple of years ago with 3 children, and it's not fun. You definitely don't want to you don't want to do it unless you have to or need to or really have a strong desire to. So I don't blame you. I'm certainly happy to take a look if and when the time feels appropriate to even consider it. But at the end of the day, to appraise it, if there's no intent that someone's going to pay you that what I think would be a make me move number, I mean, what would really be the point, right?
Yeah, not just knowledge, but yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I appreciate your time. And listen, have a great summer, okay?
Thank you.
Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye. So, I mean, that was a decent conversation, but you heard him. There wasn't really a desire to move. He has two young kids, and he's like, I'm always open to having it appraised, which is fine. But like, I'm not just going on an appointment to go on an appointment. His gut is telling him that he's probably going to be there for another 12 years. I probably could have pushed for a little something because he mentioned something about an in-law suite for one of their parents. So it sounds like there might be some type of desire for that or need for that in the future. So could I have done something with that? Potentially, but I don't really know if it makes sense. What I am going to do is I'm going to fill in my notes here and I'm going to put him on what I call in Mojo, I make obviously these little folders. I don't think this person was worthy of going into my CRM because it wasn't a lead. There was no real desire. He kind of just wanted to know what it would appraise to, which is cool. But again, I don't really feel like wasting my time. But I have a folder in Mojo called, what do I call it? I call future follow-up, where basically they don't go into my CRM, but they go into this folder of like, hey, I've had a conversation with you at some point, and I will hit this folder maybe like once every like 6-8, months. It is not a priority folder. And if I get to it, great. If not, I don't feel like I've missed out. So it's kind of like a no harm, no foul folder. So let me just put some notes here. Hello, Nancy. How are you, my friend? I just hopped on like 16 minutes ago. I got 2 contacts and someone that just wanted to get the property appraised, or it sounds like a market analysis, but I'm not really interested in wasting my time unless, of course, they had a desire to move. Just started watching your videos. Love your style of circling. Thank you. I appreciate it. So since you're here and joining me, I'm curious, I'm on the East Coast, so I'm just right outside of Philly. Are you on the East Coast? Where are you located? And are you circle prospecting yourself? Are you doing it now together with me and I just don't know it? All right, I'm going to put my notes here. And everything is possible. If I can get the same builder. Folder with suite. You're in California. So you are what, 3 hours behind me? So it's probably what, almost 8 a.m. there. I've been up since 4:30. I worked out this morning. I get everything done before my kids wake up, or at least as much as I can. He said he would be open to an appraisal, but still several years here. Yeah, this guy was just a contact. Definitely not a lead. Definitely not someone that I feel compelled to go and just offer him my time and my expertise. If at the end of the day, he's like, he needs like a make me move number. That doesn't make sense for me. What did he say? He said he was like a 2.8 interest rate. Like, that's super sexy. At that point, don't move. Like, just stay. You will hear me talking people out of moving because at the end of the day, like, it just needs to make sense for people, where I think a lot of realtors will just be like, yeah, like I think most realtors, maybe I'm wrong, but I think most realtors would be like, yeah, let's get together. They would try to give them an analysis and show them a plan of what it would take to sell, but like, they weren't really interested. Like, he wasn't really interested. He just wanted to waste my time a little bit. So anyway, he's going in a future follow-up folder, and I'm going to keep it moving. I'm not circling at the moment, but will be later today. I also follow Della, who mentioned your channel. Nice. Adela's my girly. I've known Adela for a couple years. We met through a coaching program that we were both in. And then she took the initiative to create this prospecting live group. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6 of us from all over. So
O'Donnell.
we actually have a realtor there from California. We have someone from Hawaii, and Adela's from Florida, and we have someone else from Florida. Oh, and one more from, I want to say, Idaho, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So yeah, Della and I have known each other for a couple years. I was in Florida in January, and I got to finally meet her. Oh, Nancy?
Hello? No, it's Karen.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, is this Nancy's friend?
No, you know what? I think I've got the wrong number. Am I calling a business?
Yes, this is our clean sweep.
Oh, got it. Sorry about that. I think I'm way off here.
Who are you looking for? Nancy who?
Nancy Colley?
Yes, that's my mom. She used to work here.
Oh.
So that could be why you have this phone number. It's because that was her work phone number. Do you have her cell phone number?
I think I have it here. Yes. Is it also a 215 number?
Yeah, 215-416.
That's so funny. Okay. No worries. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
She gave me her mom's phone number. I did not jot that down. What is this? All right, we're going to keep this moving. Do not contact. You found Marlene. Yes.
I can't get to the phone right now.
Marlene, I talk to Marlene probably like 2 or 3 times a week. She's my Hawaiian.
This is Eugene.
Oh, Eugene? Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Eugene, this is Ariella. I don't know if you're going to be upset with me. I'm just calling you out of the blue. I'm a realtor, and before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure. It's a quick question. I'm very busy. What's up?
No worries. It'll take 30 seconds if that. I know it's a long shot, but I guess the home. Don't suppose there were any future plans on considering a move if it made sense. Were there?
You asking if I'm looking to move out of my house, or what's the question?
Yeah, that was exactly my question. I just didn't know if there were any future plans on considering a move if it made sense, of course. Were there?
No, I'm actually, I love my house. So we bought it 4 years ago. I plan to probably stay in this 10, 15 years. Is kind of my guess.
Yeah. Hey, no worries.
It's really kind of perfect.
I mean, it is. I could see why you wouldn't want to move, but no worries. I do appreciate you taking my call. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. You take care.
You're welcome.
Bye. Yeah. So he just moved here. Yeah. He just moved here a couple of years ago. Paid 1.5. Why in the world would you move? Right. That's a beautiful house. Wow. This is me just being nosy. Oh, that's really nice. Marlene is my Hawaiian princess. I talk to her a couple of days a week. We actually were all a part of Brandon's program. I actually interviewed with Brandon when I was pregnant with my 3rd. So it was probably, 3.5 years ago. I was with Brandon since 2020. At the time, his coaching program was called FSBO Domination, which was strictly FSBOs, which is how I got into it. So I used to just do FSBOs. I then braved the waters and got into expireds, and then kind of stopped FSBOs because I really started liking the expireds, and that's where I got most of my business from. And circle prospecting is I mean, I've always circled around like my listings, but now I just pick a majority of the neighborhoods that I live around, and that's kind of who I'm calling. So I do a lot more circle prospecting because I just don't want to be married to the phone at 8 a.m. And I certainly don't want to be married to the phone on the first of every month where everything is basically expiring. So I think things just in my business shifted a little bit in a positive way. So I feel like it gives me a little bit more freedom, maybe you could say.
Hi, it's Suzanne.
Oh, hi, Suzanne. This is Ariella. I am calling you way out of the blue here. I'm not sure if you're going to be upset with me. I'm just a realtor, but before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure.
I will keep it really brief, and I realize this might be a long shot, but were there?
No.
Got it. No worries. I appreciate you taking my call, and I hope you have a good day, okay?
Well, what was your question?
My question, so I live here in Warrington, and we just don't have a lot of inventory in our area and our school district. So I just didn't know if there were any future plans on considering a move, but only if it made sense, of course.
Oh, okay. I did. Okay. Yeah, I did. I did understand it correctly though. No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't be sorry. I appreciate you taking my call though. Okay.
Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Suzanne was very nice, but she is a no. So let's get closer to a yes. This pickup rate's not that great today. Like, I'm 27 minutes in, with only 3 contacts. Oh, hello?
Hello?
Amy?
Hello? Yeah.
Amy, this is Ariella. I don't know if you're going to be upset with me because I'm just calling you out of the blue. I'm a realtor, but before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you a quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Thanks. I'll keep it really brief. I realize this might be a long shot, but the home, I don't suppose there were any future plans on considering a move if it made sense. Were there?
I don't know. Maybe in the future, not anytime soon. My parents own that property, so we've discussed moving them out eventually, but they're not ready yet. I mean, we're talking probably another year or two at least.
Got it. Okay, I didn't realize I was calling you on your parents' home. Maybe you lived there at some point.
Yeah, no, this is my cell phone. My parents own that. My parents, like, I grew up in that home. That's my parents' home. I don't live there anymore.
Got it.
15 minutes away from that.
All right.
Why are you looking for?
Yeah, that's a good question. I live here in Warrington, and full transparency, we just don't have a ton of inventory. And so I didn't know if it made sense for anyone to make any considerations. And to be fair, usually when I'm making these calls, it's unlikely that anyone's like, yeah, I got boxes packed already. It's usually like people are interested like 12 to 24 months from this kind of phone call. And
I mean, it could be longer. I really don't know. I mean, my parents they're up there. They're like 80 and 90, but they're both in great shape. I mean, they're self-sufficient. You know what I mean? My dad still mows the lawn, and they still gossip every week. You know what I mean? Like, they're phenomenal shape for their ages. But we've tried to get them to move. I know they have their names in a couple places, like like a 55 and older, or like one of those. I don't know what you call them, not nursing homes, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not even assisted living, but places where, like, they could go, and then there's assisted living if they need it. I know they have their names in some places. Nothing has come up yet with that, as far as I know. But like, I know my mom's not ready. she calls the shots.
Yeah.
So,
No, hey, I
Um,
totally respect that.
and-
Actually, I'm pretty impressed that they're still doing all these things. And that means that they're fairly
Yeah.
active, I imagine, to still be doing all those things. So,
yeah, pretty active. I mean, like, you know, they're getting up there. But, I mean, there are a couple people in that neighborhood that are of the 70-plus range.
got it. Okay.
I could tell you, let me look. Give me 1 second. I can maybe look up there. I don't know their addresses. On Woodward Drive, there is, which is the other street in that neighborhood.
Got it. Okay.
There are the first house on the right as you pull in, and the first, second, fourth house on the left. I don't know what he'd be doing, which his wife just died last year. They're all very
okay.
active for their ages. Like, they're all extremely young people. But yeah, there are a couple people in there that are definitely older, that are original owners, or close to it. I mean, they're being second owners, but
Right. No. That makes
and then
sense.
I don't know if you live past that. I know the one house sold a couple years ago. The second from, like, if you get on Woodward Drive, there's a cul-de-sac. The second from the end on the left. I know that house just sold, like, maybe a year ago. They were original owners.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know who else is down that cul-de-sac anymore. I don't know. I did really.
Sure.
But yeah, but I mean, you probably reach out.
Yeah.
In
no-
that neighborhood, the third house left as you walk in has had a lot of turnover over the year. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a couple houses that you know, people tend to move. The people next to my parents' house move a lot. There's a number of owners in there. I think they're fairly new owners. They're maybe in the last like 2 or 3 years.
Got it.
To the
Okay.
right of my parents, the rancher. They're bizarre people. Bizarre. They've been in there. No, they're like freaking weird. Like, they're weird. Like,
Oh my
we were
God,
like,
that's
what
funny.
the hell's going on? Yeah, very bizarre people. But I don't know. I mean, their child now is, I think, out of high school.
Okay. I mean, your parents they're in that cul-de-sac there, right?
Yeah, they have a great lot.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
They
I
have
think
great-
they're in
the
a
house, they really haven't done any like improvements to it. I mean, like the kitchen needs to be gutted. That's the original kitchen, and you know what I mean. But it's a great property. Actually,
yeah.
I would like the house, but my husband's like, no, we're not moving.
Oh, that's funny.
We're
Did
not
you
moving.
guys stay local? Like, are you in Bucks County here?
Yeah, I'm like up above. I'm above Sellersville, like just above Sellersville. I'm technically at Sellersville. I'm like up off a 3-mile run road.
Oh, yeah.
Not far from like Nothing Nixon.
Got
Yeah,
it.
that's 313. Yes, I got that. And he had a house up here, so I moved up here, and I hate it up here.
Oh, do you?
I'm really close to the Doylestown. I grew up in Doylestown and everything. My life down
Yeah. No. This makes sense. Well, I guess let me ask you this. Obviously, you
there. What
sound.
rooms are you at? Where
Yeah.
you live?
I'm with Keller Williams. My husband. Yep, Keller Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband and I work together, and it sounds like you're pretty close to your parents. And I realize they might be several years out at
Yeah.
this point.
They could be. I mean, feel free to try back in like 6 months and see where we're at.
Yeah,
Nothing's going to happen in the next 6 months. I know that. I mean, feel free. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my mom knows a ton of people. I don't know if she has a realtor already. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. You know, yeah. Like, she used to work in construction and stuff like that for years. She worked for Rich for that.
I think I would be
Christianity.
shocked. I was gonna say, I think I'd be shocked if they didn't know at least one realtor because they're on every corner at this point. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. I mean, I know a ton too, but sometimes I don't like getting people involved. My mom's a lot sometimes. I normally don't get people I know involved with my mother. So, you know, but yeah, was it Ariel?
yeah, my name's Ariella, and I think the reality is I probably don't expect you to remember who I am if I call you back in 6 months because I'm just calling you out of the blue. But
No, I will. You have a very unique name, and none of the realtors thought about my parents' house, so I definitely will remember you.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's
How did you get my number? It's online.
yeah. I think they're public records, and it's probably because you lived there at some point. It looks like it's still connected.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
that
and I
makes
moved back
sense.
in a number of years ago. My mom was ill at the time, and I was living with them for a couple of years till she got back, like, see what was happening with her. So,
Got it.
but
Okay.
yes, I moved out again. Yeah, I was out on my own for a long time, and then I moved back for a few, and then I've been out for a number of years again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Amy, I'm happy to send you a quick email with my resume. You could at least put a face to our
Oh, yeah.
conversation, and then if or when that day
Oh,
does
sure.
come, I'm, certainly happy to have a conversation with your parents. And full disclosure, I know they're not ready right now, and I'm not even suggesting I'd be the right realtor for them. We've never met. I've never even seen the property, but certainly if you think that they'd be open to a conversation in the future, I'd love that opportunity.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I know she's not quite ready. She almost was, and then look. Long story short, my mom had cancer years ago, and had it was in her leg, and then she wound up getting this like horrific open wound. I mean, they had to transplant her thigh into her calf. Like it was like 13 years of like out. Yeah, she needed knee replacements. They wouldn't do them because of the open wound. We finally got this. We took her off her leg for like a couple months, put her in the Chamonix, had surgery, and it finally healed. Then she got knee replacement. So now she's like, now she's doing really well. So we're like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like we almost had her ready to move because we're like, she couldn't do the stairs. And then she finally let us put I just put one in when she was in the hospital. I came in and had a stair lift put in because she was dead set against it. And then, we actually had that removed because she doesn't really need it. So now we're like, oh shit. Like we're kind of back to square one with her. Like my dad's like, he's like ready to move. My mom's like, nah, like, it's just, a lot. They've been in there for 50 years. They've been probably in that house or close to it.
Yeah, listen, that's tough. That needs some careful decision making. I could certainly understand that.
Yeah, she's very independent. She doesn't want, she's a lot. Let's put it that way. But they're in good shape. You know what I mean? It's not like they're, if they were really struggling, we were just trying to make the decision. But I mean, they are doing okay there. But, we like to see them in the 55 and older where there's, activities and stuff for them to do. But whatever.
Yeah. No, that's reasonable. Yeah. I totally respect that. Amy, what's the best email for you?
She just retired like a year ago. She worked full time at the hospital until like a year ago.
No kidding.
She was like 8. Yeah, like people were looking at us like, and people would tell us like that we knew like, oh yeah, people are like, I can't believe their children still make them work and they don't help them. I'm like, she's okay financially. I'm like, she just likes to work. Like we were like, Mom, quit the job. We look ridiculous as children. Like letting you work. And she's like, what? She loved it. It was devastating. And the only reason she did was because of her leg. Because she really can't be on it for 8 hours. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Because if it swells, it's going to break back open. And I actually forced her to retire. Because I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like, it's like a long story. We were at Penn I lived at the University of Penn for years with her back and forth, because I didn't want her driving down there. So,
yeah.
And my one sibling was in Florida. My other one's in healthcare. She can't take off like I can. So, like I'm in sales, so I sell like custom tools and stuff. So my schedule is a lot more flexible than everybody else's. So.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And not for nothing,
yeah,
but
if anyone needs a pool, let me know. I'll throw you a referral. I work for Blue Haven.
Oh, what kind? Oh, so you sell pool parts?
Yeah, I do like custom pool, like the gunite, the concrete pools and spas. We do, yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's actually really good to know.
Yeah, I worked with a couple realtors over the years.
Well, right, yeah, I was gonna say you're probably bumping into a bunch of different realtors. That's actually good to know. I'm gonna save your contact actually. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Just let me know. Just give them my cell phone number or reach out to me if they're going to call me.
Yeah.
I can put your referral in like right when I enter them. If they call the office, they could go to anybody. Even if they ask for me, they'll go to anybody.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good to know. Actually, Amy, what's the best email for you typically? Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do is when we hang up, I'll send you a quick email with just my resume. You'll know exactly who I am. And I'll plan to follow up in the next, 6 to 8 months and just see if it might be worth having a conversation. Okay.
Yeah, I've been something in the meantime. Like I don't forget the phone call. I might just take me a second when you first call me, but like I'll totally remember.
Perfect.
But, yes, I thought it was funny because actually I thought you came up. Did it come up as Rodriguez or something on my phone? Right when you called?
Oh, I don't know. That would be odd. Did it?
I thought it did. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh.
I thought it said not Doylestown Township on my phone. Yeah, actually, never mind. That was a call I just made. I thought I was thinking about one of my customers. And who's a realtor, actually? She's one of my customers. I was like, somebody was just thinking about her like a half hour ago. I'm like, so I thought you were her when you first.
Oh, that's so funny. That's funny. I'll shoot. This is your cell phone number, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. I'll shoot you a text from my personal number. This is my work number. So I'll send you a quick text after I
Okay.
send out that email. And I look forward to
You just put
connecting.
your
in the
name in
future.
the chat too. So.
Yeah, will do. All righty. Thanks, Amy. I appreciate your
Okay.
time.
Okay, Ariel. Ariel,
Alrighty.
okay, nice talking to you. Yeah, feel free to call back.
You too. Thanks so much. Take care.
Yep.
Bye. So I'm hard on my leads. I wouldn't consider this a lead because I'm kind of like talking to her for her parents. It's not really her. But I'm gonna put her in the CRM because she did tell me to call her back. So I will. I just have to finish putting my notes in here. I mean, wow, her parents are in their like 80s, 90s. Wow. Okay. I'm going to edit all of this stuff. Okay. And I'm putting this under a cold lead. I'll call her back in about 6 months or so. And contact. We're going to move it forward to somebody else. Okay, Amy, I agree on circling. Doing business is a different way. Also, you don't get the hang up and resistant like you do with expired instances. Oh, 100%. The only time I feel like you get. Oh, Joe? Hello?
Yep.
Joe, this is Ariella. I know you weren't expecting a call from me. I'm calling you out of the blue. I'm just a realtor, but before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you a quick question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks. I'll keep it brief, and I realize this is a long shot, but I don't suppose there were any future plans on considering a move if it made sense. Were there?
Nope.
Got it. No worries. I appreciate you taking my call, and you have a good day, okay? Okay. Short and sweet and to the point, not interested. Didn't ask about neighbors because it's like a busy road, and I don't even know if he has neighbors. You do get hangups, but yeah, I agree. You don't get hung up on as much with circle prospecting. Hello, my husband just said hi. I was on the dialer and he was calling me and I wasn't answering him. Sorry, I'm on a dial session. Okay.
Press 1 now to.
Hello? Troy?
Hello?
Troy?
Yes.
Troy, this is Ariella. I don't know if you're going to be upset with me. I'm just calling you out of the blue here. I'm a realtor, and before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you a quick question, if that's okay.
About what?
Sure, I'll keep it brief. I feel like it's probably take care. A lot of these today are Short and sweet and to the point. No, not interested. Cool. Let's keep it moving.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone,
Ooh, I
and
hate
Google
these
Voice will try to connect you.
Google Voices stuff. Hello? Hello? David? Hello? One of those weird pickups where people don't say anything. Sorry, comma. Hello? Oh, hello? Shit, that's what happens when you get distracted. I'm trying to talk into my Slack channel. Is Elise on this meeting, question mark? We just didn't get a chance to finalize everything because we just sent out the paperwork, so it was pretty short notice. I'm holding a mandatory meeting with my new buyer agent and our assistant. We just sent it out, so it was like 2 last minute. All right, let's keep going. 46 minutes, 6 contacts. That is a slow pickup rate for circle prospecting. I'm on my Mojo dialer, so it's a 3-line dialer. I think that hello? Marilyn?
Hello?
Oh, I was looking.
No?
Sorry about that. I don't know if I've got the wrong number. You don't sound like Marilyn, so I guess I'm way off here.
Wait. You want to talk to Marilyn?
I mean, maybe you can help me out, actually. This is Ariella, and I know I'm calling you just out of the blue here, so I don't know if you're going to be upset with me. I'm just a realtor, and before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you just a quick question, if that's okay.
Well, it depends upon the question.
I think that's reasonable, and I realize you're not even obligated to be on the phone with me, so I will keep this very, very brief. And I realize considering a move if it made sense. Were there?
In other words, you're looking for a home, is that right?
So I'm a local realtor. I'm not looking for a home for myself. I was calling you because we don't have enough inventory here in Bucks County, and I just didn't know if there were any future plans to consider a move if it made sense.
Not in the near future.
Got it. No worries. Listen, I appreciate you taking my call, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty, you take care.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. Not in the near future. Let's see. Are you an original owner? You an original owner? Yes, you've been there since 76. Holy macaroni. No, 73. Wow. Wow. So that is not a lead by any means, but I'm definitely putting him in the future follow-up folder that I have that does not go into my CRM. It's one of those things where I'm like, well, you're not really a lead, but I'm going to put you in there because if I get bored one day, I'm going to call you. And if I never get to you, no foul, no harm for the business. But wow, original owner. Holy mac. Original owner. I'm only doing this because he's older, right? He's not going to be there forever. Okay. Future follow-up. Contact. All right. I got 10 more minutes on this session. Can I get, I don't know, 12 leads or 12 leads? Wouldn't that be nice? At least 12 contacts is what I'm. Hello? Melinda?
Hello?
Oh, You don't sound like Melinda. Am I way off here?
Who are you trying? I mean, you're trying to get Melinda. Who is this?
Yeah, this is Ariella, and I don't know if you could help me out or not. I know I'm calling you out of the blue here. I'm just a realtor, and before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask.
Not interested in selling.
No
Not
worries.
interested in selling.
Take care.
You're talking about the house?
Yeah, if you're the owner of Holocong Road, but I take it that you're not.
Yeah, not interested in selling the house.
No worries. Take care. I love, this is all sarcasm. I love when people are like, nope, not interested, not interested. We always, like in our prospecting group, we always joke around with them like, okay, you're not interested. People think like, they must think that they are the only phone call I'm making, that I like pinpointed their house specifically to call, which we all know is not the case, but you're not interested. So let's keep it moving. We never even really got a chance to discuss this with her. How should we handle this? Question mark.
Forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is
Okay. I don't love this dial session. That's like the circle prospecting took me out, I think, a little bit. Hello? Oh, Andrew?
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew. This is Ariella. I don't know if you're going to be upset with me. I'm just calling you out of the blue here. I'm a realtor, and before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Thanks. I'll keep it really brief. I feel like this might be a long shot, but if it made sense, were there?
I mean, it's a very loaded question. It would have to take really something spectacular.
Got it. When you say spectacular, do you mean like usually when I hear that, that makes me feel like there's this magical make me move number. Is that what you mean?
God. I mean, before I get too deep down this rabbit hole, I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not necessarily speaking for my wife. But we have 3 kids here that, you know, my oldest just started school. My mother and father-in-law live in the neighborhood also. So it would take an awful lot, just to be quite frank with you. I mean, I'm sure you can see publicly what we paid for the house, and what houses are going for in the neighborhood.
Sure.
It'd have to be, just to be honest, substantially more than what the going rate has been in the neighborhood over the last, 8 months, 12 months.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. And actually, as I'm hearing you talk about this, so I have 3 young kids myself, and the idea of moving is just daunting. So it sounds like, and you probably got would it be fair to say that you got a really great interest rate?
Yeah, I don't know anyone, and I know a lot of people that bought around the same time as me. I don't know anyone that has this good of a rate as 52. So that's what also makes it pretty complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I guess full transparency, I think a lot of realtors are really good at telling homeowners what they want to hear. So you probably are thinking, and I think naturally anybody would think that you think I have a buyer lined up for your house, and that's not the case. Full transparency, I live here in Warrington. There's just not enough inventory within our area and school district. And I just didn't know if anyone had any future plans on considering a move, but obviously it would have to make sense. And I'm listening to you, and I would almost, even if you really wanted to move, I'd almost talk you out of it based on your interest rate. I mean, it sounds like you have help. Like is it your parents or your wife's parents that live in the neighborhood?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, given all that, it's, and really it's the kids. The kids have a life here that they love, and it's, yeah, it'd be really tough. But I mean, if someone came along and said, "Hey, I'll give you a month to be out. Here's $3 million," then I'd have to seriously consider it, right?
Oh,
But outside of
goodness.
something like that,
Yes. Listen,
yeah.
listen, if someone gave me $3 million, I can get out in a week. So I'm with you. I think anybody would feel that way. But it sounds like the reality is, and realistically, like, why in the world would you move anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, and I totally respect that. I would be talking you out of it anyway. But I do really appreciate you taking my call, okay?
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
All righty. Listen, you have a good day, okay?
You too.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye. Nice guy, but you're not moving. Like, if someone says they want 3, 4, whatever $1 million for their property, like, no. His house right now is probably worth, I don't know, 1.1, maybe 1.2 at best. You're not getting $2 million, $3 million. Get out of here.
To voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
Actually, now I'm curious what that neighborhood goes for. Let's see. Oh, the last one closed. I was way off. Last one closed a couple weeks ago for $829. I mean, they're nice. Yeah, I mean, when someone says they have a really low interest rate, they have kids, they have parents in the neighborhood, I'm like, why don't you just tell me no, you're not moving? Because it doesn't really make sense for you to move.
Automated voice messaging system.
If anybody is here watching, is anyone prospecting? And if so, who are you calling? What's going on? Do you have any appointments today? I don't have any appointments today. So I will be on the phones, and then I have follow-up to do.
If you're trying to please leave a message. Thanks.
There's an expired that just came off the market. So I get a notification every time there's an expired or a canceled. It basically set myself up on a search. Because if I get some,
Press 1 now to continue.
if I get a notification now, right, it's like midday, mid-morning. The people that use Mojo, it won't automate to their system until tomorrow morning. Where for me, if I see it and I want to be the first voice and I have a better likelihood of maybe capturing an appointment or a lead, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to look up this property address. So
You're trying to reach is not available.
I'll
At
look
the
up
tone.
the address and then I'll skip trace to get the number.
After the tone.
Let's see here. Oh, shoot. They ended up, wow. This person just took it off the market and relisted it. Do you have a great expired script I'd like to call old expireds? Old expireds, I just kind of run with. Hello?
Again, press any key to.
Let me pause this for a second. So for expireds, and whether they're fresh or old expireds, I kind of run the same play. Like it would be like, Nancy, yes, Nancy, you're probably going to hate me for this call, but I'm just a realtor. And before you hang up, I just had a quick question. I love that script because one, they are probably going to hate me because they just had a home come off the market that they intended on selling. Please don't hang up on me because they're getting bombarded with calls. And then I'll say, the home over here on 123 Main Street, I was surprised it came off the market. I just didn't know if you sold it privately or if that might still be available by chance. If it's an old expired, I'll tweak it a little and say, I just didn't know if you sold it privately or if that might be available in the future by chance, which really just acknowledges, like, I know that they came off the market before, didn't know if they had future plans. That's the one I've had the most success with. Old expireds are obviously different than fresh expireds because fresh expireds, you got to be that first voice. Otherwise, they like are so fed up with us. Old expireds are banging though. Like you could get some really great leads or appointments.
You're trying to reach is not available.
I think what I'm going to do either this week or next week is I'm going to go into this old folder I keep talking about, what I call the future follow-up folder, which is basically my folder that is not leads, but people that I've spoken to. I thought maybe they might have something in there. I'm going to go back and I think I'm going to call that list. I have to cherry pick people that I've spoken to at least like 5+ months ago and see what the conversation is like. Cause I have a mix of people in there. I have expireds, old expired circles. I just kind of throw them in this folder. So I'll have to get back into that one. And then I have another folder in Mojo that is not in my CRM where it's called,
Is not in service.
it's called hung up callback, meaning they hung up on me, but I'm going to call them back because most of them are expireds. They probably hung up because I just got them too late. They're bombarded. They're frustrated with the, hello?
Please leave your message for 2.
They're frustrated with the process, all the things. Yeah, no worries. You got it. Hello? Hello? No answer. All right. I'm done my session, but if you know me, you know I always go for one more. The power of one more is after I'm done my session, my full hour, whatever I've set out to do, I always wait for one more contact before I'm fully done. So I'm an hour in, got 9 contacts. So getting one more will get me to 10, but usually I do that one. Hello? Oh, Deanna? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I guess I'm way off here. I apologize.
Okay.
Take care. Bad number. That is not one more. I'm waiting for a contact. Yes, The Power of One More. That's actually a book by Ed Mylett. I listened to it through my audio book and I loved it, but I always just love that one more because I find that just like when you're done, right? You're done with the session, you're done with people hanging up on you, you're done with the BS, just one more. What's one more? And usually one more takes like an extra couple minutes, or it could take longer because you've had a really good conversation. So you just never know. Actually, today's quote was really powerful. So I love my little calendars. I flip my calendars every day. This says, your speed doesn't matter as long as you are moving forward. Hello?
Press 1.
Shoot. I love this. I think in a world where you want to go a mile a minute, or you're impatient maybe with your business and you want things done yesterday and you want to hit your goals and you want to do all the things, at the end of the day, like when you look at like a Karen?
Hi, you've reached Karen at 215-794-8.
At the end of the day, when you're looking at a spectrum of 5, 10, 15 years, it really doesn't matter as long as you're moving forward and not backwards. So I love those little
Continue.
quotey books, my little woo-woo daily quotes. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, Edwin?
Yes.
Edwin,
Yes.
Edwin, this is Ariella. I don't know if you're going to be upset with me. I'm just a realtor. But before you hang up on me, I was hoping to ask you a quick question, if that's okay.
Do a quick what?
I just had a quick question before you hang up on me, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks. I'll keep it really brief. I know this might be a long shot. The home, I don't suppose there were any future plans on considering a move if it made sense. Were there?
Repeat that question again. I'm not sure I quite understood it.
Yeah, this I guess only applies if I've got the right person here. Are you still? I was only calling because I didn't know if there were any future plans on considering a move if it made sense. Were there?
My house?
Yeah, long shot, right?
Right. Someone wants to be on Pace Road?
Well, so I actually live over here in Warrington, and what I'm realizing is there's just not enough inventory for those trying to get into our area and school district. And so I just didn't know if there were any future plans on making a move down the road if it made sense.
Well, are you calling everybody on Pace Road? Why did you call me?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm calling everyone on Paste Road, and I'm calling very specific neighborhoods here in Doylestown because I live in the area. So I realize this is way out of the blue and probably not the case for you, but I figured I'd ask, and it might be a long shot, but it can't hurt to ask, right?
Yeah, it's a long shot. No, I have no intention of moving.
Yeah, fair enough. No worries. I appreciate you taking my call. Okay.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, you take care. Super, super skeptical. He said, "Are you calling everyone on my road?" Yes. I think a lot of people, when I make these calls, I think a lot of people think that I specifically pinpointed them out. They must feel really flattered, but they've been here since 82. All right, that is the end of my session. Nancy, I hope you have a great calling session. Anybody else here that's getting after it today? I hope you guys get some leads and appointments. Have a great day, and I will probably be back on tomorrow. All right, bye.